You guys are not gonna believe what came in the mail. Dragon fruit, baby. My friend Richard over at Grafting Dragon Fruit sent me 2 packages. In them, American Beauty Dragon Fruit stem cuttings, which are amazing, and I will be potting those up. But that's not today's video. Today's video is the 6 different dragon fruit varieties that he sent me. We have some red varieties in different sizes, including this red LaVerne that's massive, and then this yellow variety back here. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is taste testing and slicing into these 6 varieties to see which tastes the best and what they taste like in general. So come along, let's get to it. The first dragon fruit, I figured we'd start out with the smallest. This is Sugar Dragon. As you can see, it is quite a small dragon fruit, little baby boy, and it's supposed to taste like berries. This next one is probably the coolest named one. It's called Physical Graffiti, and it is a little bit bigger, a little bit more dense, I think, and it is supposed to taste like kiwi or grapes. Our next one, still an oblong shape, but with more little wings coming off, is called Delight, and it is supposed to taste like melon. Our next one is called Vietnam White. It's about the size and weight of a baseball. I think it's the one that's growing in my front yard, and this one is supposed to taste like a kiwi. The most unique one as far as the color and the texture is Ecuador Palora. This is bright yellow, and the texture is a bit more rough and scaly. It is said to be the sweetest of these 6, supposed to taste like sugar cubes or honey. Our final one is the biggest one. This is Red LaVerne. It's almost as big as my hand. It's quite heavy. Another red skinned dragon fruit. This one's supposed to taste like a grape flavored watermelon, so I hear. So I don't know how refined my palate is, but let's go ahead, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's slice these open and figure out what is inside. Now we are going to slice into Sugar Dragon. A nice sort of neon, translucent type of pink color on this one. Now we're slicing into Physical Graffiti. Oh my God, look at the dark flesh on that. Wow, that's insane.
Next we're doing Delight, which is another white flesh dragon fruit. And you can see, although the knife colored it a little bit, it's a classic white color.
We're now slicing into Vietnam White. Assuming, oh yeah, it's definitely white in there. I may have colored it with my knife a little bit, but rest assured, if we wipe that away, it's full white on the inside.
Next, one of my favorites and the one I'm most excited to taste, Ecuador Palora. This is the yellow dragon fruit, a little bit harder to cut into. The seeds look very, very large, but it has a bright, bright white interior. Super excited to try this one.
Finally, we have our big kahuna, Red LaVerne. And as expected, a very, very stark, sort of bloodish purple red on this one. Beautiful color. So the Delight kind of looks like a standard dragon fruit with the white interior and the beautiful sort of neon pinkish reddish exterior. The Ecuador Paloma, of course, is the most unique one by far. It's got that larger seed you can see, and also a white flesh, and then that beautiful yellow skin. Red LaVerne, the largest one that you guys saw, definitely has the most striking interior with this hot pink neon and tons of seeds and just a lot of flesh relative to the skin. Then we get over to Physical Graffiti, which is drastically the darkest and most blood red. It's almost hard to even see the seeds in here because it's so stark and so vibrantly red. So excited about that one. Sugar Dragon has the large seeds of the Ecuador Paloma over here, but of course it's much smaller and it has closer to this Red LaVerne neon. And then Vietnam White, it's hard to tell because I think my knife did color some of the exterior here, but it is a white fleshed variety that's more of a classic dragon fruit look. Here we are, folks, the moment of truth. Ecuador Paloma, Delight, Red LaVerne, Physical Graffiti, Vietnam White, and Sugar Dragon. Let's go ahead and get to tasting. All right, here we are. I'm super excited. The first one I think I'm gonna start with is Vietnam White because that's the most common. This is probably the one you see at the grocery store if you're lucky enough to have one at your grocery store. Now, Richard at Grafting Dragon Fruit texted me what all these are supposed to taste like. So I'm gonna see if they match his description, and then of course we're gonna vote at the end on my favorite, which one is my actual favorite. So, starting with Vietnam White, and remember, before you eat dragon fruit, it's a really good idea to put them in the fridge and chill them, because if you don't, the flavor just isn't quite there. Okay, Vietnam White is supposed to taste like a straight up kiwi. So let's go ahead and take a chunk out of it. Yep, I get that kiwi vibe. I definitely get the kiwi vibe. It is very mild. It is that classic dragon fruit where it's not necessarily watered down, but it is a light, sort of tropical, refreshing flavor. So that was Vietnam White. The next one, we're gonna go to, I think, Delight. And the reason why I'm going to Delight is because this is the whitest flesh. This is the second whitest flesh besides the yellow, but the yellow is kind of a special one, so we're saving that one for last. Delight is supposed to taste like a melon. So kind of similar to that kiwi. Let's see if it matches. That is actually way more like a melon. It has more of that rindy type of flavor to it, and it's a little bit less sweet, but almost more like refreshing and crisp, I would say. And I'm definitely not a taste test expert, so please take it for what it's worth. Okay, the next one I think we're gonna do is Sugar Dragon. That's the smallest one right here, and that's the one that Richard says tastes like berries. So kind of a mixing up from the melon and the kiwi. So let's see if this tastes like berries. Dude, it totally does. Wow. It tastes like, oh, what is that candy? There's those candies with the black balls and the red balls around them, like the raspberry blackberry candies that you buy in those bags. It has that type of vibe to it, but it's like a lighter flavor. Again, it's a little bit more mild, but that's actually, ooh, I'm gonna go for it. It totally tastes like that candy. If anyone remembers that candy, comment it down below, because I totally forgot, but I used to eat those all the time. Now we're moving into the darker fleshed varieties. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with Red LaVerne first. The Red LaVerne is supposed to taste like a grape flavored watermelon. Let's go ahead and check it out. Look at the color on that, that's crazy looking. Ooh, it kind of like pops forward. Let me go in with another. That kind of pops forward in your mouth. And it does have that grape vibe to it. It does taste like if you took grape juice and put it into the watermelon rind, like people will put like vodka or whatever into watermelon. It tastes like if you put some extra grape juice in watermelon and then took a melon baller and like took scoops of it. It's kind of what that tastes like. Okay, finally, before we get to the final, is Physical Graffiti. The coolest name and also the darkest fleshed variety. It's extremely dark, looks kind of like a beet with seeds in it. This one is supposed to taste like kiwi and grapes. There's more hearty flesh. It's more like, really like you're biting into something substantial. Yeah, that's a very mild flavor. It is less sweet, I would say, than the Sugar Dragon, the Red LaVerne, and the Delight. It might kind of match the Vietnam White as far as its level of sweetness straight out of the gate. Now we're on to the final one, which is actually the one I'm most excited about. Ecuador Palora. As you can see, I've kept all the skin in each of these. And so this, as you know, is the yellow one. This is the one with the largest seeds, and it also has very, very white flesh. So large seeds, white flesh, certainly a unique one. Richard says Ecuador Palora tastes like sugar cubes or honey. So far different from all the other ones. And I've heard from my reports as well that this is the sweetest dragon fruit variety, is a yellow variety. So let's go ahead and find out. Oh my God. I would say that's at least 5 times sweeter than anything else that's on this entire table right here. And the seeds aren't as crunchy. They're sort of like, they have this, they're crunchy, but they're like, kind of like they have a chewiness to them as well. That totally does taste like, it's very rich honey, like a thick natural honey type of flavor. It's not very fruity. It's way more like straight sugar. So the bricks content of this must be pretty high. It must be pretty high in sugar. But guys, what an amazing opportunity to try all these different dragon fruit. And if you're one of those who watches to the end of some of my videos, then you're gonna be very lucky, because what I'm doing is I have half of each of these fruits left. Of course, I'm gonna be eating them, but I'm going to be saving seeds, and I will probably end up listing some of these seeds on my website. So if you want, what you'll have to do is you will have to, of course, subscribe and make sure that you have notifications, because I'll put updates out. But you may also want to hop on the email list. And the way to do that is to go to epicgardening.com and wait for the pop-up to show up and then actually get on the email list. So while I go ahead and snack on some of this Ecuador Palora. I have to say thank you to Richard over at Grafting Dragon Fruit. A wealth of knowledge, a good guy, a good friend. I'm gonna go visit him pretty soon and hang out with the dragon fruit god himself. And actually, he's gonna be getting some cuttings of this one, which is very hard to find. So highly recommend you subscribe to his channel as well. And until next time, good luck in the garden and keep on growing. So dang good. Wow.